All right, everyone, this is Tim and Online Big Blue, bringing you the best in New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. Oh, it's Monday, August 2nd. Training camps moving forward. We re-signed Alfred Morris. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Breaking news. Giants signed over the hill running back and Todd Gurley is still available. Just throwing that out there. I just laughed that the Giants are going to try to catch lightning in a bottle with Alfred Morris again. That usually doesn't happen. Usually that does not bode well when you go into that type of situation with a veteran running back. Just throwing that out there. I wouldn't get excited, guys. I wanted to talk about one of our draft choices, UCF's cornerback, Aaron Robinson. You know, and I laugh because I spent a lot of time in Florida, spent a lot of time in Central Florida, worked in Florida. Have a UCF alum in the house. So it was interesting. I never really did a deep dive into Aaron because of the fact that, you know, it's not that I thought he was a bad pick. I just thought it was an interesting pick. But then I kind of thought about it a little bit more. And now that he's kind of turning heads in training camp, making some plays, pushing Darnay Holmes for that slot spot, I wanted to just kind of do a quick breakdown. And I kind of think he could be a gem, you know, a mid-round gem, third rounder. So I guess that's almost a mid-round. He's an interesting prospect, and he was very interesting at UCF. He started his career at Alabama, played had one season at Alabama, and he transferred over to UCF. And he basically said when he transferred, he says, "I've always had the ultimate goal and took a different approach leaving Alabama." Robinson said, "I don't regret it because thank God I am here today and competing with the best." Because this was at the Senior Bowl. It played out great for me. I believe it played out on how it's supposed to play out. It's definitely the ultimate goal and has driven me to go where I am now, which is good. And now, if you remember, there was he had some great coverage against another Giant at the Senior Bowl, and that was against Tony. Just throwing that out there. He is an interest. Like I said, he's been playing well in camp, which is fantastic, which is what you want to see. He's been making some plays. He's been kind of making him name himself. He's definitely going to make the roster. He's on a relatively cheap, of course, 4-year, $5 million rookie contract. 1.1 is guaranteed. His cap hit in 2021 is only $935,000. He's gonna push, in my opinion, he's gonna push Darnay Holmes at the slot. I mean, it was interesting that the Giants went with him, and I thought about this during the draft. Giants have a crowded secondary, and they moved up from 76 to 71 to make sure they got the pick, make sure they got him. They had high value. Dave Gettleman came out and said, with the value we had on Aaron, I just didn't want to sit and wait. You know, and I've said and he also said we felt that he's a press corner and really fits what we want to do and who we want to bring on the defense. I don't think he's a press corner. I think he's going to be a slot corner. And I understand press corner can also be a slot corner on the inside. I understand that. But I'm thinking he's going to be more of a hybrid. He's going to be more of a slot corner and eventually work himself into the safety position. I know they had him at 6'1", 100 and whatever, 193 pounds in college. I think he weighed in and measured in at 5'11", 180, 190 pounds, which is always the way. I've told that before. In college, I was 6'5", 245. Yeah, I cracked 6'1". That's okay. But he's going to be a guy that's going to fill a slot hybrid role, which is going to be perfect for the Giants. You know, he can mix up a little bit more into man coverage. He can look maybe a little bit more into zone coverage. He is he's disruptive at the catch. He's not a guy that's going to get you a lot of interceptions. At least he didn't get them in college. He had 16 pass defenses last year. So I think he will be a good mix and has, like I said, he has the ability to play both zone and man-to-man, but I think his versatility and allowing him to also push into the safety position is really what's going to make him a versatile option. And like I said, last year was a defensive substitution. This year will be a defense of versatility with Patrick Graham. So I mean, I think his ability to play both is going to be great. You know, one of his coaches came out and said, He's great in the slot. He's got great feel. He's more of a Swiss Army guy, and he showed that ability. And I think that's what you are going to get with him with the New York Giants. Now there were some. I'm not gonna say flags. I mean, because basically what he brings to the Giants, he's a good athlete. He's got I'm not going to say great speed. He's got good coverage speed. He's got good mobility to stick with receivers in coverage. He has a physicality with them to disrupt in the press man coverage. He also he has an awareness. He understands offensive concepts. He can play, like I said, he understands the zone concepts. And he is constantly disruptive, knocking balls away, not getting the interceptions, but knocking the balls away. I have to laugh. I'm gonna segue for a second. Mike Haynes, former All-Pro cornerback and brother of former Giant Mark Haynes, who was also an All-Pro cornerback. He used to have an office in Central Florida. And it was funny, though, because his office was right next to my friend's office, so I would run into him every once in a while and would say hello, and he actually got me his brother's autograph, Mark's autograph. This was years back, and I actually talked to him briefly once, and this was back in the early 2000s, about why interception totals were going down. And you see them exponentially going down now, and he basically said it's going to be, and I thought it was interesting, I didn't think about it the other day, he said it's basically going to be because of the fact that the way the athletes on the other side of the ball are progressing and becoming just as athletic as they are on the offensive and defensive side of the ball, and it's a timing thing in reference to the defensive back making his turn towards the ball when it's thrown as he's trying to cover the receiver, who's also very athletic. So we always thought they would reach a time, which it was very apropos, they would reach a time where you would see more people knocking down passes than you would see them intercepting them, because the timing is going to be so precise. Now, there are always some guys that always just have this timing, this knack for the ball, but he was just saying the majority of the time he saw that, and this was in 2003, saw this happening. And I think that's exactly what is happening right now. Now, I also think Robinson, if you watch his film in UCF and just talk to him, he's got a competitive toughness. He's a very physical corner at the catch, and he's a willing run defender. Now, the issue is he does have an issue arm tackling. He arm tackles quite a bit, at least he did in college. He missed 17 tackles in college. 14 of them came in one season. So he's got to learn arm tackles aren't going to cut it in the NFL, but that's something that is correctable. That's not something that we cannot fix. And this is a guy who's unafraid of contact when playing downhill. And he shows little to no hesitation when he's attacking the ball carrier. Like I said, he's competitive, he's aggressive, he's disruptive, especially at the point of catch. I think he only had one interception in 30 games in college. But he needs to he's not a DeAndre Baker, but he needs to kind of find a balance between playing physical and avoiding unnecessary contact, which is going to bring flags, because at times he gets a little grabby. I said this about DeAndre Baker coming out of college. Like DeAndre Baker was DeAndre Baker and Eli Apple. Oh, actually, it was more Eli Apple, but I did say about DeAndre Baker as well. Eli Apple was a very handsy corner at Ohio State. And I broke that down. He was very handsy. And when I said he is not going to be able to do what he did in college in the pros, because he's going to get flagged all the time. And DeAndre Baker was a flag machine. He never learned how to not play with his hands on the receiver. I don't think Robinson is that bad. I think he can figure that out. I think that can be taught. And like I said, he is a perfect guy for Patrick Graham. Like I said, I believe he's going to compete with Darnay Holmes for the starting slot corner role and and probably be a rotational guy, giving the Giants another option to cover both the slot receiver and the tight end. And I think he's going to fit sooner or later into a corner safety hybrid nickel defender type role. And also, I think he's going to excel in special teams. I think he was a good pickup, and I'm not shocked or surprised he's doing well in camp. I hope he continues that. I hope he continues the maturation, and we see him play against the Jets. I will be at the Jet game. I'm trying to see if I have the tickets for FanFest. I'm not sure if I'm going to FanFest yet, only because of the fact of everything that's going on with the mask mandates and everything else. So then I have to go 4 days later to the coaches club for the Jet game. So I'd rather go to the Jet game than FanFest, but we will see. We'll see what happens over the next couple of days. We'll have some great videos coming out. We'll have some more topics coming in. If you haven't listened, go to podcasts, any place that you see podcasts for Online Big Blue, and find our MetLife Mafia episode. It's going to be a weekly segment. It's replacing the old Meadowlands Mafia show we used to do years ago. So hope everyone can find the time to go check it out and enjoy it. And again, this is Tim of the Online Big Blue, bringing you the best of New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. And as always, if you could please subscribe. You're in the play thing, that means that yes,